Everyone thinks that generating professional motion graphics like these means that you need years of editing experience with After Effects. But that's just not the case anymore, because I was able to generate these motion graphics using AI in under 10 minutes. And honestly, this kind of changes everything, because up until now, creating professional motion graphics using AI was very hard. AI struggled with text rendering, so every single scene that had readable text in it couldn't be animated properly. But now, OpenAI has completely changed the game. They just released their new AI image model, GPT Image 2.0, which has near-perfect text rendering, meaning that for the first time, we can actually generate custom motion graphics with proper text and UI details using AI. And when you pair that with Seedance 2.0, which is arguably the best AI video model right now, the results are genuinely insane. Which is why in this video, I'll be walking you through the exact workflow for consistently generating professional motion graphics like these from scratch. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to create custom motion graphics for your own videos, even if you've never generated one before. And for this video, I'll be using OpenArt. It's an all-in-one AI platform that I like to use because it has access to all of the latest AI models in one place. So if you want to follow along, I'll leave the link to OpenArt in the description below, along with all the prompts that we'll use throughout the video. So let's get into it. For the first walkthrough, we'll be creating a SaaS ad that shows off the features of the app using motion graphics. These types of ads are typically seen on SaaS landing pages, App Store previews, and even product launch videos. For this example, we'll be building a SaaS ad for an imaginary fitness app called Pulse. So we'll head over to OpenArt, click Create Image, and select GPT Image 2.0 as our model. And now, here's where this gets interesting, because most people here make the mistake of just uploading a single image as a reference for their video. And while that can work perfectly fine for normal videos, it's not enough for when we're trying to generate complex scenes and custom motion graphics, which is why instead of just one, we'll be creating 4 different images of the app. That way, Seedance has much more visual context to work with, so the entire result is much more consistent. So we'll go ahead and run all of our prompts through GPT Image, and these are the results we got back. Every single image has perfect text rendering, the colors look amazing, and the overall result looks absolutely insane. And this is exactly where GPT Image separates itself from every other AI image model, because no other image model available right now can handle text rendering and image quality at this level. Now, to actually animate these images, we'll select the Create Video option and choose Seedance 2.0. Then we'll upload all 4 images as reference and use this for our motion prompt. We want a 15-second cinematic walkthrough of the Pulse app with the camera smoothly flying through all 4 phone screens in 3D space, a premium Apple-style aesthetic, and a dark background. We want each screen to have one specific element animating while everything else stays consistent, and this is the result. All of the screen animations look realistic, the camera motions feel natural, and the entire result just looks stunning. But honestly, this is just the start. These tools are actually capable of creating much more complex motion graphics, like the documentary-style explainers that you see on channels with millions of subscribers, like Oversimplified and Economics Explained. So stick around, because later in this video, we'll actually create some of these ourselves. But for now, let's create something that's used by almost every single creator on social media nowadays, which is infographics. These are basically animated visuals that help us break down complex ideas and make them more digestible. These can be in the form of flowcharts, diagrams, and even animated stats. So let's actually walk through the entire process of generating one from scratch. Let's imagine that we just created a video comparing AI ads to traditional UGC ads, and we want a clean, motion-based infographic to summarize the entire comparison in one shot. To create this, we'll head over to the image section, select GPT Image 2.0, set the aspect ratio to 16:9, and use this for our prompt. And here's what we get. This result is perfect for our starting frame. Let's upload this as a reference image into Seedance and animate it using this prompt. Most people would never know that this was made with AI. All of the text smoothly slides into place. The cards animate perfectly, and the entire infographic just looks really clean. We can do the exact same thing with bar charts or different graphs when we want to show the data in a more visual way. And honestly, this can go into any direction. For example, I just created this infographic displaying the entire history of advertising over the last 100 years, and the result just looks really professional. Infographics are a must-have for any any type of content out there right now. And now generating these with AI is not only possible, it's actually the easier and faster option. So now that we understand exactly how to generate professional infographics, the next step is to push these tools even further and try to recreate the cinematic explainer scenes that are seen on big YouTube channels, like Oversimplified or Economics Explained. But to make this even more interesting, we're going to generate this in a full 3D style animation with audio, instead of the typical 2D illustrated look that most of these channels go for. Now, generating this is a bit more complicated than generating regular motion graphics, since there are a lot of different scenes, which is why AI can sometimes mess up the consistency. But don't worry, I'll be breaking down the entire process step by step, so it's very easy to understand. The entire workflow can be broken down into 3 main elements. The first is storyboarding our entire video. Before we generate anything, we need to have a clear idea of what our video is actually going to look like from start to finish. And for this example, we're going to be generating a 30 to 40 second clip showing the history of the Silk Road, the ancient trade route that connected China to the western part of the world. And we'll actually be breaking it down into 3 smaller clips and then combine them together at the end. The second part is generating our audio and image references. We'll start by generating the audio clips. For this one, we need to generate 3 separate audio clips, one for each segment of the video. So we'll just head over to the audio section in OpenArt, paste in our first script, and pick a voice. For this one, I went with a preset called Mark, which had that deep teaching style sound so that it can perfectly match the documentary style of the video. And just like that, our first audio clip is ready. From there, we'll just repeat the same exact process for the other 2 segments. And once we have all of the audio clips ready, the next part is generating the images that will be pasted as references for the video itself. So we'll head back to the image section, select GPT Image 2.0, and generate our reference images. And here's what we got. The images look absolutely amazing. The textures look incredibly detailed. The scene feels cinematic, and most importantly, every single image looks connected so that the final video can be consistent from start to finish. Which brings us to the third and final part of our workflow, which is animating everything to life inside Seedance 2.0. So we'll click on the Create Video option and select Seedance 2.0. Then we'll upload these 2 images as the starting and ending frames, along with the first audio clip as our audio reference, and use this for our motion prompt. We want a cinematic scene where the camera slowly zooms into the Han Dynasty palace. The Silk Road lights up across the map with small merchants and camels fading in.
In 130 BC, the Han Dynasty in China opened a trade route west, a network of dusty paths stretching over 4,000 miles. They called it the Silk Road.
Okay, this one is actually insane. The camera movement feels completely natural. The Silk Road lights up exactly the way we described, and the audio sync is absolutely perfect. It looks just like the explainer scenes that we see on YouTube, but with way more depth and details. And this is exactly why Seedance works so well for this, because we can upload up to 6 images, 3 videos, and even 1 audio file as reference, which makes the entire result so much more consistent. And now, we'll just repeat the exact same process for the next 2 clips. Then, once everything's ready, we'll bring all 3 clips into CapCut and stitch them together. And here's the final result.
In 130 BC, the Han Dynasty in China opened a trade route west, a network of dusty paths stretching over 4,000 miles. They called it the Silk Road. Caravans of camels carried Chinese silk across the Taklamakan Desert and over the Pamir Mountains, passing through trading hubs like Samarkand and Persia, before reaching the markets of Constantinople and finally the wealthy buyers of the Roman Empire. But silk was just the beginning. Spices, gold, paper, gunpowder, and even ideas flowed both ways, connecting east and west for the first time in history.
Yeah, this is just unreal. AI has genuinely changed everything about creating motion graphics, and it's a massive opportunity for creators since they no longer have to spend months learning After Effects or spend hundreds of dollars per video by hiring an expensive video editor to add professional motion graphics to their videos. And this is exactly why I love using OpenArt, because it gives me access to over 100 different AI models, all in one place. Plus, it has this huge library of pre-built videos with their prompts that we can use as inspiration for our own videos. So if you want to try this out for yourself, the link to OpenArt is in the description below. And now you know exactly how to create different types of professional motion graphics using AI. But the next thing most creators struggle with is generating realistic AI influencers that actually stay consistent across every scene. So if you want to learn the exact process of creating ultra-realistic AI influencers from scratch, click the video on screen now.